Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is May 3rd, 2021, and it is a Monday. That means it's time for a Monday mukbang. And today I'm going to be trying something new, a product that I didn't know existed until I ordered them. SIS Go Energy Bars. I got a 5-pack. You know I love a good sampler pack, and that's what I have here. The biggest surprise so far is that they, based on the pictures on the internet, they look like they were going to be giant, but these are they look like they're going to be small. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on with these. We'll test them all out. I don't know if I'm not going to eat all 5 at once. Maybe I will. If they're good, maybe I'll eat them all at once. I did have lunch already though, so probably not, but we'll see how they go. But before that, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio only version on the podcast. Hopefully you guys are doing well and having a good run out there today while you're listening. And for everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, welcome to you guys. Sorry we couldn't see you guys live, but so glad that you're catching up later. All right. Philipbourne is here live, though, and he's saying, yo, what's going on? Did a 7.9K after work with Laura today. Awesome. He said his eyes are feeling great. He just had LASIK surgery. And he said just blasted dry with the cold wind. Ooh. But he's joining the torture day with some SIS Energy Bars as well. He has a whole box of them and doesn't like them. All right. That does not bode well. So we'll see. I mean, for me and Science and Sport products, it's like... it's definitely hit or miss is probably the best way to put it. Like some stuff I love I think it's lemon lime. The gels that I get, they have a little 75 milligrams caffeine. They have a citrusy flavor. I think it's lemon lime. Those are good. I really like those. But like the Rego, the sport, like the protein drink, I did not like that one at all. They've had, someone asked me about this a while ago and I answered it incorrectly. Someone asked me a little while ago if I had tried their hydration drinks, and I said that I hadn't, but I have because I remember they're tablets. Those I didn't like very much at all either. So we'll see how things go with this one. All right. Kris says, live stream question: do I eat now or later? He was saying this at 12:45, so it's eating time. So let's go for it. All right. Who else we got here today? We've got Steve in here. We've got Sarah Mims. Sarah says, hi, working and listening in. Storms rolling through Atlanta today. Like the different colors in the bars packaging. Curious to hear how they taste. I currently have RX bars, ones with simple ingredients. Yeah, I feel like all bars these days get compared to RX bars. Like that's like the reference bar. And so when I say like a bar is chewy or a bar is dense, I'm like saying like in relation to an RX bar. Those are good. I like those. But I always feel like they're really hard on my teeth. Not that they're crunchy, but I feel like they give my jaw a workout because they're they can be pretty dense, but we'll see how these go. I do like the packaging on them. I like the different colors, and we'll see how it ends up turning out. And speaking of weather, the weather here, it rained for my entire run today. Fortunately, it wasn't too cold. It was like 60 degrees out, so a manageable rain. And it didn't rain that hard. It was just kind of wet the entire time. So it could have been worse. But now, like sun's peeking out, some of the fog and like storm clouds are kind of getting cooked off. So it might turn into a nice day. I didn't think we were going to see any sun today because I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow as well. So we'll see how it goes here in Chicago. All right. Will Gravel says, hi, everyone. Missed a live stream yesterday because I was out running my marathon time trial. Awesome. Says 2:33:27. Goodness, Will. That is an amazing time. Whew. Unofficial PR by about 3 minutes. And today's my first rest in about 2 months. LOL. Can't wait for Chicago. Wow. Can't wait to see what you're going to do for Chicago when you're doing time trials out there by yourself at 2:33. Insane. Really great job, Will. Impressive. Super impressive. Whew. All right. Let's see. Spence Ohms is here. Says, yo, what's going on? And Terry says, hi, please say hello to my son, Noah. I'm at his house in Eli. What's going on, Noah? How are you? Hope you're having a good day. All right. Scott says, my bar of choice has been the Garden of Life Performance Bar. Tastes great with macros. Tastes great with great macros. I read that wrong. But I've never seen Garden of Life Performance Bar before. I do have some coffee with me today. That'll be my palate cleanser. But all right, time to dive into some of these bars. I just watched this morning while I was like kind of having my daughter, the baby, do some kind of like preschool activities. Like we got her a Connected Dots book and some other like pre-K kind of stuff. I had the Oregon relays on TV today. I recorded it from over the weekend. Really good racing to watch on TV. All right, 5 bars in here, and the packaging. I don't think they don't travel well. So like the packaging makes it look nice, but like the box came to me like pretty like smushed, and all the bars seem to be a little bit smushed and a little bit worse for wear. But I'm assuming these are going to be all right, flavor wise anyway. All right, the nutritional info is 130 calories, 2 grams fat, 23 grams of carbs, 5 grams of protein, and 93 milligrams of potassium. So I like those numbers, pretty good. I mean, I feel like this could be these are pretty decent numbers for an after like workout bar. You know, I probably would want some salt in my after workout, and there doesn't seem to be any salt in these, but if you're watching your sodium, this could be good. All right. Yeah, as far as allergen information, it looks like the only allergen of like the top 8, or I guess is it top 9 now, that are in here would be contains soy. So that's promising as well. So let's go over the flavors. We've got chocolate fudge. Okay. Apple and black currant. That sounds like the way that someone would describe a wine to me. We've got banana fudge. I'm going to eat this one first. Well, maybe I won't eat that one first. I have a feeling I'm not going to like that one. Red berry. This is the same color as that protein shake that I didn't like too. And then blueberry, another flavor that I don't like. So I guess I should have looked at the sample pack to see what flavors are in here. I'm not super optimistic. Let's start with the apple and currant. All right. All right. It looks pretty, looks nice. So like the texture on it, it looks like there's, oats in there and stuff. And I like it. It's a little bit on kind of like the wetter side of bars, but not super dense, not crunchy like a granola bar, like a Nature Valley crunchy granola, but really great fruit flavor coming through on this apple currant. It's a little bit too sweet because of the currant, I think, but just a tiny hint from the oats. Give it kind of like a granola, but not a ton, not crunchy by any means. It's very like soft and bendy, but I like this one. This one's good. Hopefully I will like them all this much. I don't think I'm going to, but hopefully I do. All right, what do we got here? Remy says, just got out of the pool having a Lenny and Larry's cookie. Good cookie after a good, for me, swim. I don't think I've ever had Lenny and Larry's. That sounds interesting. Stick on a Tree says, shout out from Seatown. What's going on, Stick on a Tree? Good to see you. John is here, says, hi, everyone, doing a body weight workout right now. That's cool. Awesome. Emily E says, hi from Finland. I actually saw yesterday F1 driver George Russell having an SIS gel before the race. So I'm expecting F1 speeds in my runs from now on. Haha. That's funny. That's interesting that the F1 drivers are having like gels. I mean, I guess like those are long events where it's very strenuous on the body, lots of forces on the body. You have to be extremely sharp. And, I've seen them with like, they have tubes where they're drinking out of stuff. But yeah, that'd be funnier if he was like, he got it like in the compartment on the side and he was like sipping on one like while out there driving. Kind of like when people are driving for their commutes and they got like a cup of coffee in the cup holder. I know that's not what you mean, but that'd be kind of funny to see that. Bend Over says, I ran a 2-mile on Saturday and learned I don't want to race in track months ever again. Whoa, that's interesting. I keep like conversation keeps getting back to the track spikes. I'm guessing it's because it's an Olympic year, but I keep seeing them more like in discussions here and there. And I'm like, maybe I'll buy a pair and try to hop on the track and see how it feels to do a workout. But then I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't think I'm really missing that much. All right. I ate the whole apple and currant one. That's a good one. I like that one. But there's a lot more to it than it looks like. I feel like it's a pretty dense bar. I have a feeling I'm going to regret eating that much of it because I got 4 more of these to go. Although I don't know how much I'm going to eat of the rest of these flavors. We'll see. JC said, hey, everyone. Missed a few days. Wasn't live yesterday as I drove home from my nieces. Oh, that's cool. Awesome, JC. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Hope your niece is doing well. All right. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the chat because I'm behind you guys. CK Stoner says, hey, Cohen, everybody. Long time. Got my first Pfizer. Awesome, CK. And it is good to see you again. It has been a while. Brendan Cam says, hello. What's going on, Brendan? I saw that Twitter post you had out there running around the track that you used to play football at. So that was a pretty cool post. If you guys aren't following Brendan on Twitter, he's a pretty good follow. I highly recommend it. Mark Chancoco says, love me some Lenny and Larry's cookies. They're like a whole meal. Can barely even finish one in one sitting. See, you know what I don't like? I don't like big cookies. If it's going to be that big, I want it to be in a bar shape. I don't know why the shape matters that much. But like, I don't like them when they're like really giant. Like downstairs, there's a little grocery store in our building, and they sell a lot of like grab and go foods. They actually sell a lot of Go Macro bars, which I really like. And they sell a lot of, Bobos. They sell a lot of those too, as well as like a variety of different like meal replacement and like keto. And like, there's like an entire aisle full of bars. And some of them are like the meal replacement ones are like $5. And I'm like, $5 for a cookie? Even if you're getting a lot of food, I just feel like maybe make that a 2-pack. It just seems like a lot to me. I don't know. There's just something that strikes me as odd. But I don't know how much Lenny and Larry's cookies are, but if they're big, I'm guessing they're probably a little bit expensive for each one. But yeah, I do remember I think there's probably been a couple of Shark Tank episodes where people have had like super like healthy cookies, or there's always like some sort of like the blankiest cookies on the market, and they're only $4 a piece. You know, it's like the healthiest or the most keto-est or the best for this kind of lifestyle or that kind of lifestyle. It tends to come up a lot on Shark Tank, I feel like. Brendan Kim says, oh yeah, that track brings back all the nostalgia. I don't think I've been back. I think I've like my high school that I graduated from. I think that I've been back in the area maybe once or twice. And I think one time I might have like just driven through kind of like the parking lot and stuff and just drove around for some reason. I'm trying to remember what the context was. Why I would have done that, because we don't live in that area anymore. I'm trying to think of why I would have been doing that. But I do remember I've been back once. But I haven't been on the actual track itself. I think probably one of my favorite memories of my high school track is the track coach. His son was on the team. He was a year behind me, and he was a little bit of a troublemaker. I think he still is. But and one time, I don't know if he swears he didn't do it. He swears his dad forgot to put the parking brake on their car, and it was blue. It was one of those old Volvo station wagons. Those things were tanks. Like you couldn't make that car die if you tried to. And the way our high school track was set up, it was kind of like set into like in like a little hill. So like here's where the school was, and then you have to come down a giant hill, and like the track was laid into the ground, and then there was bleachers on the other side. So it made like kind of like a natural kind of bowl in there. And one time coach forgot to put on the parking brake, and that car rolled all the way down the hill and like landed and like ended up on the track because he forgot to put the parking brake on. I seriously think that his son like was pranking him. I think that's what happened that one time, but that was a pretty funny day. That was a really funny day. Sue Ann says, "Hey, co-fam, almost forgot about live stream. Had my lunch for this. Awesome." And all right. Preeti Gupta says, "Reviews of Endorphin Pro still left out. Don't thank Mr." I'm not sure I understand what's going on there. Yeah, review of Endorphin Oris, Endorphin Pros, still left out. I've done many videos on the Endorphin Pro. I've raced in it many times. I've done race recaps about racing in it. I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe you're new, or maybe you haven't seen those. But when it came out, that's when a lot of the videos would have been in terms of reviewing the shoe, like straight up going through the whole review thing, like specs and what it feels like. And then I think I did a trial of miles event. I think it was an 8K. I think my first ever 8K I did in the Endorphin Pro. And then I'm not sure how many like versus videos I've made up though. But basically until like the Adios Pro came out, it was my favorite. Well, one of my favorite. I don't know if I can run a marathon in it. I don't know if I can run a marathon in it well, but it's a really good shoe. But then the Adios Pro came out and I was like, I like that one more. All right. Pretty Gupta says 100-mile review. Well, I'll have to run 100 miles in it. I think I'm at about 70 miles in it. And you know, it's a little harder to run. I mean, I guess it is or it isn't harder to run to 100 miles in those, carbon plated shoes, because I'm not going to run like an easy run in them, So it's like it's 100 miles of threshold workouts, fartleks, time trials. So it's like there's only so much racing a person does, or that I do, and the style that I train. So it takes some time. I think, most of my super shoes right now are at like 60 or 70 miles. They all kind of have the same amount of mileage on them. 40 to 60 is kind of where they all are. So it just takes some time. Josh Greenberg says, once you said the Vaporfly could easily be used past the point where it loses response, but is a Vaporfly used past 200 miles still better than other fast options? For example, I use the Endorphin Speed. Let's see. What would I rather have for a marathon? A Vaporfly, like, I'm assuming you're talking next percent, or if you're talking 4%. I think the next percent has a little bit more durability in the foam than the 4% does. Part of that is because of the way that they inlaid the rubber into the foam in the 4%. The other part of it is I think they've tinkered with the ZoomX formulation in the next percent, between 4% and next percent. So like a Vaporfly next percent at 200 miles versus an Endorphin Speed, and we'll assume you're talking about the marathon. Both are good. I might go with the Vaporfly next percent on that. I mean, I wouldn't race in it. I'm not racing in Nike shoes lately, but if someone was like, which one should I race in? I don't mind running either one. Tell me which one I should pick. I got both in my closet. I'll go with the Vaporfly. All right. Mika Kataya says, evening from Helsinki, enjoying grapefruit segments with Greek yogurt. To get like on it, I wouldn't think to put citrus and yogurt together. I suppose that happens all the time, like a orange Julius or something, like a smoothie. But interesting. All right, let's get to the next flavor. All right, let's do banana fudge. Let's do the banana fudge. I don't like banana flavored things, so that's why I'm not that excited about this one. But I have a feeling they're all going to kind of look the same, like mushed oatmeal, like compressed oatmeal, which I don't think is a bad thing. I like the look. I like the texture of it. Strong banana smell. Bananas and, just basically banana. I mean, it was supposed to be banana fudge. So maybe I don't know. It doesn't look like there's chocolate in it. And I'm mostly tasting banana. It's not bad. I think if you like bananas, this would be good. And I did taste this in here before I saw this recipe, but it confirms it. There's concentrated pineapple juice in here and dried apricots. So there is something giving it a little bit more of a citrusy flavor, which I don't know. I don't taste chocolate in this almost at all. So I feel like if they could have called this like tropical banana or something like that, that would have been, I don't know. I still wouldn't like it because I don't like banana as much. But if you didn't put banana in the title, I feel like that would be misleading. But I don't know. I like the other flavors. I just don't like the banana in it. Everything else in it's good. You got the soy crisps, so give it a little crunch, the oats, and then yeah, pineapple juice, dried apricots. It's good. It's just got a lot of banana in it, so I'm not a huge fan. But not bad. Not bad. Better than I thought it'd be. All right. Stevie76 says, can I get a bell for finishing my taxes? Yes, yes, you can, Stevie. Here you go. I mean, I guess it's not that close. There's still 2 more weeks. You got 2 more weeks, right? So, yeah, I took advantage of the extension as well. We're finalizing with the accountant. Well, no, I only gave her some of my, most of my stuff yesterday. But that felt good to do that too. Rocky W says, so I decided to sign up for an 8-hour endurance race on July 17th here in Indianapolis. Oh, interesting. It's a 5K loop for as many times as possible in 8 hours. Am I crazy for thinking this sounded interesting? A little bit. I think like the time, like the duration runs just mentally are so hard. Because I feel like when I look at, say, like a 50K, which mine might take 8 hours, I'm aware of that, guys. Frank, I know what you're thinking. Is Frank here? I thought I saw Frank. But I feel like, if you're doing a long distance, like, maybe I'll finish early. Maybe it won't be 8 hours. Maybe it'll only be like 7 hours of misery. But if you're signing up for an 8-hour race, you're signed up for an 8-hour race, no matter what. And the better you do, the more it's going to hurt. You know what I mean? Otherwise, in a regular race, the more you hurt, the faster it's over. Generally speaking, unless you totally blow yourself up, then it could take longer and it'll hurt more. But I don't know. I don't like the duration events. Conceptually, I guess I've never done one, so I can't say. But conceptually, I'm not as interested in them. Not as interested. All right. Yeah, Will says, I thought the banana was official fruit of runners. Too bad you don't like them, full of carbs and potassium. I usually eat them at a race. Like if I see them like after a race and I'm like, you're coming through the finisher chute, I usually just eat one fast. I don't like it, but I'm like, yeah, it'll help. So I think of it like a supplement sometimes, but like I'll eat banana bread. I don't mind banana bread. That I can eat. But like pretty much everything else banana, I'm just not a big fan of. All right, let's get to another one. Red berry, which is just seems like they didn't know what to call it. They just put some stuff in here. And yeah. Let's see. I sometimes like berry flavored things. I sometimes don't. This one has like a little bit of like a purple hue to it, or I guess a red hue to it. And it looks a little bit more mushy than the other ones do. The other ones look like maybe there's a little bit more texture to it, but it doesn't smell like much of anything. It's very mushy. Is that? Oh, there's some cherry in there. There's something else in here that I'm trying to figure out what that. Oh, great! Is it grape? Maybe the dates. Raspberry, cranberry powder, grape juice, dates. Yeah, it's just a variety of fruits. It tastes a little bit muddled. It's just like a bar. Not bad. Not my favorite. But better than the banana fudge. The Uncle Shady's backing me up, though. Look at that profile pic. You got, what's his name from Cobra? He says, yo, I kind of hate bananas too. Yeah, I feel like you're not allowed to as a runner, but I'm gonna put myself out there and say I don't like banana. I don't like bananas. Mark says, what makes them sports bars? Well, I think the fact that they're made by a sports company, and I think when I think about like a sports bar or food that's made for runners, I usually like to think that they are not like a protein bar that's like super protein heavy. Although some of the running products can be like protein focused. There's a couple kinds, just like I think there's a couple kinds of like beverages. So sometimes the beverages are like, you know, a lot of them these days are like pre, during, and after. So like one to like not carb load you, but sugar load you before your run. Another one to keep you topped up during the run, maybe have some electrolytes as well. And then afterwards, it shifts to having a little bit more protein and a lot more of the electrolytes to kind of rehydrate. And so I think that bars are starting to fall into those kind of categories as well. And yeah, a lot of the runners ones have like a little bit of carbs, a little bit of protein, and tend to have electrolytes in there as well. So like the nutritional information starts to look very similar to like what you might see in like gels or in like recovery shakes. So that's kind of what I think about them. Other ones like Go macro bars that are more like heavy snacks, or I don't think that they're big enough to be like meal replacements. Might just be like stuff to like a snack that's going to be delicious to eat. Kind of like granola. I feel like if you make granola, it's because you want to make granola. You're not making granola with like necessarily a specific intent to like, I want to have a 4.5 to 1 carb to protein ratio with, 100 to 300 milligrams of salt per each serving, but I think with these kinds of bars for runners or sports, I think they are thinking about that a little bit more. Oh, it looks like my mom's here. Awesome. Ishan Kalra says, Michael, please answer my comments. Let's see if I can find it. Ishan says, love from India, Michael. Hope you're doing okay over there, Ishan. Says, can't run nowadays. Situation is getting a little worse over here from COVID. Yeah, it's been like heartbreaking, the things that we've been seeing over here about what's going on in India. So, I mean, it makes me pissed off in a lot of ways. Yeah. So hopefully you're doing okay. Stevie76 says his favorite marathon sign is all this for a banana. Yeah. The other ones that I like, 2 other ones that I really enjoy seeing. Well, I guess there's 3 that I really like. One is like find a cute bud and follow it. I feel like that's always pretty funny. Another one is like you're nowhere effing close. I like that one as well. And the third one is usually ones that like kids have, and it'll like they'll hold it up and they'll have a mushroom, and then you say like tap for power up. I love those. I love giving kids high fives, because I just love when kids are out at the races and stuff, and I know it can get really boring. So I love trying to like make it interesting for them, make sure they get high fives if they're trying to do that. And I love it when the kids make signs. So that's kind of like what those are my favorite signs, I think. Will says, try homemade smoothies. They're the best for mixing fruits, like blueberries and bananas. Smoothies are very good for bananas, that's for sure. My wife makes smoothies. She goes in spurts in terms of making smoothies. She makes really good ones. And they usually have a lot of spinach, a lot of banana, and then a lot of chia. We put a lot of chia in ours too. It's really tasty. She makes them good. But then like that's not it. So like the part that makes it tasty is like then she'll have like either frozen strawberries or mangoes or pineapple. And I just love mangoes and pineapple. Those are good flavors. All right. Rocky W says, let's say hypothetically you were to do an 8-hour endurance race. What shoe would you consider? Not trying to win the race or anything, just try not to die. Yeah. See, for me, if I were doing an 8-hour endurance race, you said though, Rocky, it was on a 5K loop course. So I think like the terrain of the course might inform it a little bit, but like, I remember watching, it was like the winter solstice, something like that. It was like a 24-hour race somewhere in Arizona. Everett Running put it on. And like some of the runners were there like in next percent. And I'm like, this is a 24-hour race. I don't think you need next percent on there. But on the other hand, why I feel like makes it still a good choice is that like you want something that's going to be really easy on not only just your feet, but on your joints. So I'm thinking shoes that are really comfortable. 8-hour endurance race. I'm hoping that there's a chance for a shoe change in there. So I'll list 2 shoes. I'm thinking something like Mach 4 and like a Nova Blast. If there's some trail involved, maybe like if it's a trail like run, I'd be like Peg Trail 2 and like a Lone Peak. Like maybe those would be nice because those are pretty comfortable shoes to run in. So like, or maybe even the Fresh Foam More Trail. That might be one. So like those, like I'd be looking at like what's going to be easy on you rather than like what's going to make you like the most efficient of runner. So that's kind of like where I would lean. All right. Monica and Hyunu TV says, hi, Mike J here. Quick question. Thinking about buying an X% 2 to perform better for my half marathon or longer runs as an 8:40 pace. Any thoughts or other shoe recommendations to be faster? Yeah, I mean, like, I think that I wouldn't worry like too much about the shoe until like towards the end, right? And so like when people talk about like, you know, are these carbon plated shoes going to benefit everyone that's signing up for the race? I'd say yeah, but I think that like maybe for some people like the bang for buck turns out to be different, you know, but and there's other things that you can do like improving consistency and following a training program and just having more miles under your belt that are also useful. But I do think that, you know, a X% 2 will help you perform better at a half marathon pace. I feel like the X% 2 is ideally situated as a half marathon shoe. I think some other ones to consider, though, for me, I would definitely look at the Endorphin Speed because I just really love that shoe. So that's another one that you could look at. What else would I look at for someone that's running 840s? You know? Yeah, I think that an Alpha Fly would also work as well. That's something that you could also use. But also shoes like the DV8 Nitro or the Mach 4. I think those would be great as well. I think a Hyperion Tempo would be fun. So there's a lot of other Boston 9. I don't know when the Boston 10 is going to come out. I'm pretty excited for it, but the Boston 9, I think those would be also some really great options to take a look at. All right. Taco Chef says, I tried the lemonade flavor of Noon Recovery and I felt your pain from the other day. Which one is that? The lemonade? Which flavor did I like? I'm trying to figure out or remember. Oh. But yeah, sometimes the flavors just are a big miss. All right, Rocky W says, for his 8-hour endurance race outside of Indianapolis in July, mostly road, just a little bit of buffed out trail for context. Right? Yeah, so I feel like you go with a road shoe on that one. So I think the Mach 4 would be really good for that one, nice and soft. I think even a Clifton would be probably a pretty good choice as well for 8 hours out there. Yeah. I think a Clifton and a Mach, I think would be a good 1-2 punch. Yeah, I'm leaning pretty heavy on that one. All right, let's get to another bar. Let's do the blueberry. Blueberries. Why is it? Do people love blueberries? I don't know. See, I think that, you know, blueberries are big in Michigan, which is a couple of states over. And I think that I would enjoy going to like the blueberry festivals. I think that I would eat blueberry everything and I would love it. But like, I just don't like buying blueberries at the store. But of all the berries that I don't like, they're probably the one that I mind the least. I don't like blackberries or raspberries. I don't like buying. I love eating them. They're like beets to me. I love going somewhere else to eat them. I just don't like buying them and bringing them home. All right, so this blueberry one, it's blue. Doesn't look this color is not very appetizing. Smells like Play-Doh. It definitely smells like Play-Doh. It's weird. It's uncanny. Like a fresh pack of Play-Doh. It kind of tastes like Play-Doh. I don't like this one. I don't know. I think you drink some coffee, cleanse the palate a little bit. I think my taste buds are just they're just revolting. They're like, no more of this. It's having a hard time. Oh, let me give me a second. I'll try that one again. All right. Eric Vensky says, nice video today, Co. Question, is that vest good for shirtless running, or do you know when that is? I tend to run without a shirt in the humid Ohio summer. Yeah, Eric, I saw that, and I didn't have time to respond to it. I think I've tried 3 brands of vests. I've tried Ultimate Direction, I've tried Nathan, and I've tried Camelback vests. One, I would say I don't like running without a shirt on, mainly for nipple chafing. Because like, especially if you're going to front load the vest, I don't know if you've tried it before, Eric, but for me, like I've tried doing that before, but when the vest is front loaded and you don't have a shirt on and you're just running with the vest, that's going to be painful later. So, yeah. So I usually just wear a singlet, but I think that, compared to like the Nathan and the Ultimate Direction, I would say that the Camelback one, it's just a softer mesh material. And I think you might be able to get away with it. I probably still wouldn't, but I'd probably still try to find a singlet to put on. But I think if there were one to pick of those 3 brands, which one could you go without a shirt? I would say it's that one. Will Willing says, let's get to another bar. Sounds like fun. I haven't been bar hopping in forever. Yeah, that is fun. I don't have the, like, I don't know if I'm out of practice. I don't know if I would have the energy for a bar crawl anymore. I mean, not just because like I haven't been going out, but also just because like I don't know. I think of it frequently as like in my 20s, I was very interested in binge drinking. In my 30s, I was very interested in binge eating. And now in my 40s, I'm just pretty interested in binge running. So that's kind of where my mindset is at. But I still enjoy all those other things too. All right. Cleaned out. Clean out the palette, I think, a little bit. It still smells like Play-Doh, though. Okay. I'm getting a little bit of blueberry flavor in it, but it still tastes like Play-Doh. I don't think someone that likes blueberries would be like, yep, that hits the spot. I don't know. There's black currant powder in it or something. And I think there's pineapple juice in all of these. And there's grape juice concentrate. It's the main ingredient, concentrated grape juice. So I don't know where it's veering off course, but that one, it's not bad, but it certainly doesn't taste good, I would say. Martin says, you guys have been putting in the chat some really funny marathon signs. It's really funny. And Martha says, a sign for the women: run like there's a hot guy in front of you and a creepy one behind. That one's super funny. I like that. All right. Ishan Kaira says, how many miles did you log in Maffetone? It takes a lot of patience of a runner to walk in between. I think that I was strictly Maffetone for about 1,000 miles, maybe 750 miles before I had a marathon that was on the schedule. And at that point, I think that I switched over to doing some marathon specific training. And even now I'm pretty much, mostly Maffetone, except when there's a race on the schedule, then I do some race specific training. But even then, like the easy runs, like today, they're at low heart rate. Today, like my Maffetone number is 144, but today's average heartbeat was 137. So like I stay well below it for most of my easy running. And today I'm tired. I'm really tired. I've really ramped up the mileage quite a bit. I think I might be overdoing it a little bit in terms of the ramp up, but getting ready for this 50K. But yeah, just keeping it really, really nice and easy for now. Yeah, you guys, with all these marathon sides, run now, poop later, never trust a fart. Yeah, I mean, I might switch the order on those a little bit, but yeah, all good advice. Yeah, that's funny. Chris says, I would eat a bar that smells like Play-Doh. Would bring back childhood memories. Yeah, you know what's funny is the baby loves playing with Play-Doh. She loves it much more than my older daughter did. And one of her favorite things is, I mean, she has like a little ice cream maker set. And so like it extrudes like the Play-Doh out and it comes out like soft serve and it's super fun. And then she has like all these like baking sets, like you press the Play-Doh in into like cookie shapes. And she's like, Daddy, I made you a plate of cookies. And I always pretend to eat them. And sometimes I will like make it look like I took a bite mark out of them, you know? She's like, you didn't eat it. I'm like, I did. I ate it. You told me these were cookies. She goes, they're Play-Doh cookies. And I'm like, I ate it. Am I going to be all right? And I'd be like, oh, my tummy hurts. And so we play that charade. I think she knows I'm kidding, but she likes to play like, oh no, Dad. So it's pretty fun. I do enjoy like pretending with the kids that I ate the Play-Doh, like that I don't know the difference. It's just a lot of fun. And Ishan Kara says, sometimes you need to run even 12-minute miles to keep the heart rate inside. Is it fine? Yes. I did a lot of run walking for the first 3 weeks. I couldn't even run 30 minutes straight. So I did a lot of run walking. Make sure though that you have an external heart rate monitor. Don't trust the heart rate that's on the wrist if you're having a hard time staying within your range. So yeah, that's the main thing that I would do. Things got a lot easier once I got the external heart rate monitor, because the wrist monitor for me would work for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and then it would just start spiking and I couldn't fix it. So I don't know what's going on with it. I mean, I know the wrist heart rate reading is not that reliable for me, but that's something else that I would look at. All right. Let's do, Sam says the best, what's going on, Sam? Said the best science and sport bar so far. So far was the first one, the apple and currant. But I saved what I hope will be the best for last. It is chocolate fudge. I mean, they can't possibly mess this one up, right? Chocolate fudge should be easy. But I wonder if grape juice is the first. Concentrated grape juice is the first ingredient. Raisins, concentrated pineapple juice, reduced fat cocoa powder is like the third to last ingredient. Oh boy. Let's see. The color is dark because it's supposed to be chocolate fudge. It smells like chocolate. Pretty good. I'm getting a lot of fruit. I'm tasting raisins. This tastes to me like an oatmeal raisin bar. Just, I don't taste chocolate. But I mean, my favorite kind of cookie is oatmeal. One time my mother-in-law made, she knows that I love oatmeal raisin cookies. And my father-in-law loved oatmeal raisin cookies. We never get them because when she does a lot of her cookie baking, it's for the kids. And so they like chocolate chip and other kid flavors. But every once in a while, she'll make a batch for me and my father-in-law. And one time she made one with raisins and chocolate chips. And that was super good. That's not what this is, though. This just tastes like oatmeal raisin. I like it, but I smell chocolate, but I don't taste it. Huh. It looks like Shannon's here. What's going on, Shannon? How are you? Whatnot says, I like your videos a lot. Thanks, Whatnot. I appreciate that. Terry Furlong says, in all seriousness, since my AstraZeneca vaccination, my wrist heart rate actually works. It never did before, ever. That's really funny. That's super funny. Oh, man. Josh Greenberg says, does the Endorphin Pro or Vaporfly Next keep their pop for longer? I'd like to be able to get through a year of speed work with a carbon racer. Also, is an old Vaporfly better than a new Endorphin? I do not. If you want to get some longevity out of it, I feel like the 4% were probably one of the least durable carbon plated shoes that are out there. I feel like the Endorphin Pro has a lot more longevity to it. That rubber does last a lot longer than it looks like it will. So I feel like you can certainly, a year of speed work, I think it depends on how many miles a year of speed work is for you, Josh. I still would probably, if you're just using it for speed work, I think you can get for the Endorphin Pro or the Vaporfly X%. I think you probably could get to 300 miles and enjoy those shoes. Maybe longer, maybe not, but I think you could do that. So if that's a year's worth of speed work for you, then I think it'll work. But I'm just not sure. If I were to pick a shoe that had more than 300 miles of speed work life into it, I think the Endorphin Pro might be it. Trying to think. I'm not sure about the Hyperion Elite 2. The foam, it's DNA Flash midsole foam, and that kind of foam seems to last forever. But mine has 60 miles on it, and I've done some running on dirt roads, dirt roads with lots of like rocks and gravel, and it chewed up the outs, like, because there's not a lot of rubber coverage on the outsole, and it chewed up like the midsole that's touching the ground, the exposed midsole foam. It chewed it up pretty bad. Like there's a part where I'm like 1 or 2 more like rocks, and it's going to carve a little chunk of it out, and I'll be able to see the carbon fiber plate. So like from a compression perspective, the Hyperion Elite lasts a long time. It just depends on what you're running on. But the Endorphin Pro, I think that's probably the main one I would look at. All right. So the best one was the first one, the apple currant. That's the one I ate all of. And I think this chocolate fudge one also tasty, but if you're a chocoholic, you're not going to like it. You're going to be like, where's the chocolate? If you think of it as an oatmeal raisin bar with like a hint of cocoa, that's kind of it. That's it. But those are the two that are good. So if you're going to buy some of these Science and Sport bars, I'd say, yeah. None of the flavors really pissed me off. 2 of them I liked. So there's that. But an interesting product. From a disclosure perspective, I did buy that myself on Amazon. So there's that. All right. Chris says, I'd be interested to see the mileage on a maxed out Adios Pro. Yeah, I wonder what that's going to look like. Because like, every once in a while you see pictures of like, elite athletes out of like Kenya or something like that. And they'll be like, I don't know if they're even elite, but they're training with other elites or something like that. And they'll be like, look at these Vaporfly 4%. I've got 1,000 miles on them. I'd be like, what? And like, you look at them and they're like rubbed down to like the carbon fiber. And you're like, that's incredible. But yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not going to be the one to take it to longer mileage, but I did really like that shoe. Good one. Freddie Polito says, hi, Kofuzi. What's going on, Freddie? Good to see you. And what was someone saying? Oh, Warren Chen said, just bought the Endorphin Speed and the push off on the toes feels a little weird. Like there's nothing underneath my toes. Anyone else get a similar feeling? No, I mean, I don't get that. It feels like it's not as long up front. So that might be what you're experiencing, Warren. Maybe that is, maybe that isn't. But if you're feeling like you're not getting any push off from it, then I think that you might want to look at the Endorphin Pro, because that for me is on the other end of that possible spectrum, where I feel like I'm not bending the carbon enough unless I'm running really hard. Yeah. All right, Lucas Lilly with the super chat. Thanks so much, Lucas. Says, if I run my map number 149 every day, in 3 days I'm dead. It's just too fast for me. Love you all here on chat. Yeah, that might mean that you are very aerobically strong. And so I think that like the ultimate dream progression for Mapatone is that in the beginning, hitting that Mapatone number, you hit it like that, because like your respiratory system is like, what are we doing here? We got to work hard so that we don't die. So like everything's just working on max and you're just trying to keep up to the pace. Eventually you get stronger. And so like the same amount of effort or even more effort, or the heart rate, you can go faster, right? So you're going even faster than you were before, right? And then the idea is that for me, I'm at the point where kind of like, I think where like an average Mapatone kind of performance, where now what felt like easy before still feels like easy. I mean, I'm at the same pace, but my heart rate is just a lot lower than it was before, like 10 to 15 heartbeats per minute lower to run kind of like the same paces. Ideally, it would get to the point where for me, running a Maffetone number, my 144, would be like not necessarily a threshold day, but might be like a moderate pace effort, something that I can't do every day. And that's why for me, when I do my Maffetone tests, I don't do them very frequently. But that's why like what you're supposed to see on your Maffetone test is that like your speed decreases in order to maintain, to stay at the same Maffetone heart rate. And the reason for that is, one, it could be cardiac creep, but two I think it's cardiac creep because of the fact that you're running hard. For me, I can run at that Maffetone number. I ran at the Maffetone number for 18 miles on Saturday, right? And so like I can just keep going because physically it's not that strenuous. Cardiovascularly, it is because I'm at that Maffetone number, but musculoskeletally, it's not strenuous at all. Ideally, my cardiovascular system will get so strong that trying to run 144 beats per minute will be a great effort. Right now, like for me, an easy day is a lot lower than 144. And so I think I'm making that progress. But yeah, I think if you're exceptionally strong, then your Maffetone number will be a hard number to hit. Like Seth, for example, like he can run a 20-mile long run at like 120 beats per minute, 25 beats per minute. It's easy for him. And it's way faster than anything that I could ever race at. Right. It's because his cardiovascular system is just incredibly strong and he's got a very efficient stride. So like it doesn't take much for him to get moving. So he doesn't have to work as hard musculoskeletally, and his body, his cardiovascular system can handle it without a second thought. So that's ultimately where I'd love to be. I'd love to be where you are, Lucas, but I'm not there. All right, let's do one more and then I gotta get going for today. It's starting to get hot in here. It's still like really foggy out, but the sun's really coming out. All right. One more. Chris says, seems like the people who have the best results with MAF are those who did not start on MAF, but rather use it as a reset after a legitimate running history. I mean, I guess that could be. I'm not sure. But like, I think that you'd also have to think about like who started with MAF. People that start with MAF are maybe people that have started very late in life, so are not going to be competitive runners and maybe never were going to be competitive like elite runners. You know what I mean? I'm not sure, Chris, if that makes sense. You know, so I don't know. I think it's like the sample set of people who had never experienced any running and their first experience with Maffetone running. I think that's going to be kind of like self-select, or like a selection bias in terms of kind of the conclusion you're trying to draw. That's what I'm thinking. All right. I think that's a good place to leave it for today, guys. I got to get going. Tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk about some plyometrics that I've been doing. I got to figure out exactly what my ultimate routine is going to be, but you know, everyone's got to start somewhere. Yesterday's run, I started somewhere. So I'll kind of start talking about that for tomorrow's video. And then tomorrow we'll do Trivia Tuesday. I'm not sure what it's going to be. We'll figure it out. We'll play a game for tomorrow. We'll have some fun. Same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I'll see you guys again. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.